India was losing $10 billion worth of crops every single year to rats. And every poison, every trap, every human solution they tried made it worse. So India did something no country had ever attempted at this scale. They called in the owls. India feeds 1.4 billion people. That sentence alone should tell you how much is at stake when something goes wrong with Indian agriculture. And for decades, something has been very, very wrong. Not just a few rats. Not a manageable rat problem. An biblical rat problem. India is home to an estimated 1.2 billion rats, almost one rat for every human being in the country. And unlike city rats that scavenge garbage and stay out of sight, these are field rats. Agricultural rats. Rats that exist for one single purpose: eating crops. Every year, Indian farmers plant billions of dollars worth of wheat, rice, sugarcane, and vegetables. And every year, before harvest, during harvest, and in storage after harvest, rats consume, contaminate, or destroy an estimated 15 to 20% of everything grown. In a country where hundreds of millions of people depend on affordable food, where farmers operate on razor-thin margins, losing 1/5 of every harvest is not an economic statistic. It is a human catastrophe. The obvious solution, the solution every country reaches for first, is poison. Rodenticide. Rat poison. Spread across fields in massive quantities, mixed into bait stations, dropped from vehicles across agricultural zones. India used it by the ton, for decades. And it worked in the most narrow, short-sighted, catastrophic way possible. Yes, the poison killed rats. Millions of them. In the short term, crop losses dropped in treated areas. But here is what else the poison killed. Owls. Barn owls. Spotted owls. Grass owls. Apex predators that ate poisoned rats and died from secondary poisoning. The animals that were naturally keeping rat populations in check being systematically wiped out by the very solution meant to solve the problem. Mongoose. India's mongoose population. Natural rat hunters consumed poisoned rats and collapsed in treated regions. Birds of prey, kestrels, harriers, black-winged kites, all killed by secondary poisoning from eating contaminated rodents. Soil ecosystems. Rodenticide doesn't stay in rats. It leaches into soil, into water channels, into the food chain at every level. And the rats? The rats evolved resistance. A subset of every population carried a genetic mutation that made them partially immune to the most common rodenticides. Those rats survived. Bred. Passed the resistance to their offspring. Within 3 to 5 generations, which for rats means 3 to 5 years, the resistant population rebounded. Larger than before, immune to the primary weapon, and without owls, mongoose, and birds of prey to hunt them completely unchecked. India had spent decades and billions of rupees poisoning its own ecosystem, and the rats were winning. Enter Dr. S. Subramania, Indian ornithologist, wildlife biologist, a man who had spent his career watching India poison its own natural pest control system and growing increasingly furious about it. In the 1990s, Subramania began documenting something that agricultural policymakers had completely overlooked. In regions of India where barn owl populations remained healthy, where pesticide use was lower, where owl nesting sites were preserved, rat damage to crops was dramatically lower. Not slightly lower, not marginally better, dramatically, measurably, consistently lower. Because a single barn owl is a rat-killing machine of extraordinary efficiency. Let's talk about what a barn owl actually is, because most people have no idea. A barn owl can locate a rat in complete darkness, zero light, using hearing alone. Its facial disc, that heart-shaped white face, is not decorative. It is a parabolic sound collector, funneling sound to asymmetrically placed ears that can pinpoint the location of a rat under 30 centimeters of grass from 20 meters away. It flies in near total silence. Specialized feathers on its wings break up turbulence in a way that eliminates the sound of flight. Rats cannot hear it coming. Its talons close with a gripping pressure of over 130 newtons, enough to pierce a rat's skull instantly. Death is immediate. The hunt takes seconds. A single breeding pair of barn owls will kill and consume approximately 1,000 to 1,500 rats per year. When they are raising chicks, which they do twice a year, that number climbs to 3,000 rats per year as they hunt aggressively to feed their young. They work exclusively at night exactly when rats are most active. They require no salary, no maintenance, no toxic chemicals, no supply chain. They ask only for one thing: somewhere to nest. And India, through decades of modernizing its farms, clearing old trees, demolishing old buildings, had systematically destroyed almost every natural barn owl nesting site across its agricultural heartland. The owls hadn't abandoned India's farms. India had evicted the